Long time since I've done a live. And truth is, it was messing up my algorithm from the woodworking standpoint. And there's a bunch of back-end stuff with Google and YouTube and kind of how things show up in on the internet. And when you do a lot of these talks, Google doesn't know whether or not I'm a woodworking platform or kind of a talk platform. And granted, I want to do a little bit of both, but at the end of the day, for my business, I have to make sure that the algorithm understands that the Modern Woodworker is a woodworking platform, and we make custom furniture. We do lacquered furniture and stuff like that. So anyway, that's why I haven't done a ton of lives, but I'll try and do maybe one a week. It's just difficult to lose that traction that I get from Yahoo from YouTube and Google. I've talked about it many times before, guys, about how you can use these algorithms to help drive traffic to your business organically without having to pay for advertising quite so much. So anyway, that's what's going on there. My name's Eric Wilken. I'm the Splendid Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company. We do, probably do 500 pieces a year. And we do a small figures in revenue. We have about 10 employees, and it's a great business. It's a fantastic way to make money, and it's a lot of work, but it feels really good to make furniture. See the customers light up when you show them the pieces that you made for them, that you painted for them, that you built them, things like that. So I recommend anybody that can get to start their own business or would like to start a business to jump down that rabbit hole, try and get it done, and work at it. It's definitely the long game, and it's not easy, but it's well worth it. And I couldn't see myself doing anything else at this point. So anyway, point is I'm back talking. And talk for the day is that the artisan economy is coming, guys. And some might say, what the hell is the artisan economy, right? The artisan economy is basically this economy where people make things again. It's the economy where people are looking for things that are not homogenized, right? It's great to buy something from Walmart, but the truth is that there's 10,000 Walmarts in America, and every one of them sells the same shit. And so when you buy something, everyone else has the same thing. That's fine if you're buying milk and cookies and stuff like that, but it's a whole other thing when you're buying furniture. So that's what I talk about on this channel. I talk about the business of furniture making. I talk about the economics of furniture. I talk about the furniture industry. I talk about all things related to small business and furniture because that's what I do. So it's the only way I know how to make a living. It's my entire life. I live, breathe my work. And I'm one of those people that just works all the time. I never turn it off, and unfortunately, that's who I am. So I figure I'm a pretty good person to talk to and listen to as it pertains to the woodworking business and starting a small business. I never went to college. I never graduated high school. I had to move around the United States quite a bit to make this business work. I failed 3 times starting a business, but I finally got one that works. So I feel like I'm an authority on how to start a business from a normie standpoint, and that's what I talk about. So the talk today is, of course, the artisan economy. And so the artisan economy is interesting. People are getting tired of buying the same old, right? There is too much in this world that is the same, right? Like all the furniture looks the same, all the cars look the same, the buildings all look the same. Everything is homogenized. And I think we're moving away from that. And again, as a fine furniture maker, does millions of dollars a year in sales. I have a pretty good idea of what people are looking for, especially when it comes to the very high end, the highest of the high end furniture, which is where we tend to dabble in. Okay. What we have going on today, and I wrote down a whole bunch of notes, guys. But what we have going on today is we have a massive divide between the haves and the have-nots. And the truth is that it's only getting bigger. The people with money are growing like exponentially. There's so many people getting rich right now, whatever industry it is they're in. A lot of it's tech, a lot of it's finance, right? A lot of it's real estate and stock market, Bitcoin, all these kind of things. And these people want handcrafted stuff. These people want things to be made. You have no idea how many clients we've had over the years. They want to brag about spending $20,000 on a desk, $100,000 on a kitchen, right? They want to brag about this kind of stuff. And if you're one of the people that makes these kind of things, you're going to benefit. And that's what I talk about when I say that this artisan economy is getting ready to explode. There are so many people right now that are going to be buying tons of stuff. They got tons of money to throw around, and they're going to want to buy your furniture, right? They're going to want to buy your clothing. They're going to want to buy, your tchotchkes, your homewares, your whatever it is you sell. There is just tons of people with a shit ton of disposable income that are going to want to buy stuff, okay? So that's what I'm talking about today. I'm telling you guys, you can get rich. And I wrote rich as fuck because it's just the truth. Like right now, I've never seen so many high ticket items. I've never seen it. And I've been doing this for 25 years. There is more money being spent on furniture right now than I have ever seen. And we're picking up some of that. It's not necessarily the volume, but it's the amount per piece, right? So I just sold a 15-foot table, right? 50-foot table. I sold it for $45,000, right? Made out of crotch mahogany. I've got lots of videos about it on my Instagram. I don't know if I put anything on YouTube yet, but I've got people buying $10,000 credenzas, $12,000 credenzas. I've sold, I'm trying to think some of the other, at least the high ticket stuff we've sold. We're selling $6,000 credenzas all the time. I just sold a modular 10-foot credenza to a lady here in St. Louis for $12,000. The big ticket items are moving, and it's great because it's a very high margin item. But what people are buying this stuff for is because they do not want what is at Restoration Hardware, right? They don't want something from our house. They don't want something from Williams-Sonoma, Pottery Barn, all these places, because it's the same shit that everybody else has access to. People want things that they get to kind of design themselves, so they get to have a little bit of say in, so that they can tell their friends and their family and all these kind of things, hey, I designed this thing. I made this just for this room. Hey, there's nothing like this out there. So if you're one of these people that hand makes things, like, I think you're gonna be able to get rich, guys. Like, I really do. I've got all my eggs in this basket, and I'm doing bids right now for massive homes, like massive 30,000 square foot homes. I mean, just big, massive projects. People are spending money like crazy right now. And if you get on YouTube, if you get on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, it's just nothing but doom and gloom, guys. And I'm here to tell you that there's a lot of that where people are falling on hard times, and there are a lot of people that are having difficulty making ends meet. And I'm not, trying to dismiss any of that, because it's real, right? It is absolutely real. But there are a lot of people as well that are looking to spend money, and they're looking to buy stuff, right? And so again, if you're a furniture maker, if you make anything, now is the time. And I've been saying this for years now at this point, but you need to get a website, right? You need to get good at making something, and you need to start targeting your marketing to these wealthier people and these wealthier zip codes, these wealthier cities, whatever you want to call it, and start getting after it, because there's nothing like working for yourself, guys. I don't think that people are supposed to work for somebody else necessarily. I believe that kids are supposed to work for their parents' businesses. Parents are supposed to work for their grandparents' businesses. Businesses are supposed to be a collection of family members that gets passed down from one family to another family to another family, or generation. And I don't see a lot of that today. There's just a lot of people wanting to work for other people. They're more worried about health care and dental care and working from home than they are about having a real business, right? They're more worried about all these superfluous things that in the end are important, no doubt about it, but working with your family is just about the most important thing there is. And a lot of people say, oh, I wouldn't want to work with my family. That's cool. Everyone can have their own thing, but I think it's the most important thing there is. I think it's very important to be able to, say, hey, you know what, son, daughter, whatever, hey, let's go. We're going to the shop today. We're going to the business today. We're going to go sell some furniture today. We're going to go, try and sell this customer. We're going to go design this piece of furniture. We're going to go work on the shop. We got to clean. We got to paint. We got to do whatever. We got to go make things. It's so important, and if you can get into this artisan economy that's I think it's getting ready to absolutely explode. You can do a lot of great things. There's a lot of money to be made. Custom furniture, very lucrative, extremely lucrative. And if you're a well-known furniture maker, people will pay you almost whatever you want in order to get onto your schedule to make their stuff, but you gotta be good. You gotta put in the hours, There's too many people that think they're just gonna hire a bunch of craftspeople and they're gonna start a business, and I'm here to tell you that while that does work, and it has worked in the past, there's gonna be too much competition. A lot of people are going to want to make stuff. A lot of people are going to want to start these kind of businesses. And the people that think they're just going to hire talent and start a business, I don't think it's going to work like that. I think those days are over. We got too many people making money and not really knowing how to do much other than maybe run a business, or maybe they know a little bit about finance. They're a good manager, but they couldn't make anything to save their lives. I think that is going to be much harder to do. And so you are going to have to be a craftsperson and also a business owner, right? You're going to have to be a craftsperson that is very good at designing things, that is extremely good at making high quality products that really stand out, and then you could hire a manager. But it's not going to be the other way around. I think those days are over. But anyway, we'll talk about it a bunch. Like I said, I got a ton of notes. Let's go through my notes real quick, and we'll start this discussion about why you guys need to start making shit, man. You got to start getting into the artisan economy that is getting ready to explode, because there's going to be more wealthy people than ever in the next decade. I mean, I've got stats on what the furniture industry is going to do in the next decade. It'll blow your guys' mind. I mean, it'll absolutely blow your mind. So if you have the opportunity, you've thought about starting a business, you've thought about, like, maybe I could, make a go at making furniture or making cabinets, don't wait. Get after it and keep going, because eventually you will get there. Like, eventually you will have that customer that really allows you to explode, right? Or that job that gets you out of your 9 to 5, right? Or that job that maybe your wife can quit working, or your husband can quit working, and then, they can help you focus on this other thing, and it gets really exciting. It starts to snowball until you got a business, and then there's a myriad of other problems. But anyway, okay, we got people going to the chat, and so let's see. Yeah, Buddy Bomb Studios. Yep, you're doing. Yeah, sorry, man. I'm glad you said something about starting these talks again. Like, I'm real leery about it because of what it does to my marketing with Google and YouTube. So I'll do these, but I'm just not going to do as many as I've done before. But it's good. I enjoy doing them, and I'm glad people liked these conversations. I enjoy talking about just all kinds of things. But I mean, again, I like to talk about it from the standpoint as a guy who never graduated high school, right? Like, I think that it's really important that people know, especially today when you have 25% of all college graduates can't get a fucking job. Like, that's ridiculous. You don't have to have an education to make money. You don't have to have an education to start a business, to get really, really good. You don't have to have this education to be the best at something, right? But you do got to put in the time. There's no quick way to get good at making furniture, to get good at whatever, video games, to get good at, being a plumber or a roofer. There's no good way. You have to put in the time. And this is the thing that everybody wants to circumvent, right? They want to know, what's the shortcut? What's the shortcut? What's the secret, right? Where's the book? What book do I read to become a business owner, right? What do I do to become a better furniture maker? Who should I watch on YouTube? What books should I read? What kind of furniture should I make? And the truth is, you just got to do it. You just gotta, sit in your garage after you get off work and make shit, right? And on the weekends, make shit. And you're just making shit over and over and over again until eventually you get good at something, and that's all there is to it. And then when you get good at something, well, then you move on to something else, right? And then you learn that skill and you get good at that skill. And then now I'm good at 2 things. And before you know it, you're good at everything. And the truth is like in my case with furniture, there's really like 12 skills. Everyone thinks that, you got to have this tool, and you got to have, this many years on the job, and you got to have, whatever, this kind of material. And if I only had this chisel, and it's none of that. Like, you just got to know the main skills for what it is that we do, and you can do anything that I can do, So anyway, okay, more comments. All right, so let's see. Bunny says, "I missed your streams. I'm glad you're back." Yeah, like I said, I'm gonna try. I'll try to do this at least once a week. Okay, then we got who's this? KR30 goals in here. You gotta be good. You got to be known. Yeah, and that might be better said than I could say it. The truth is being good is not as important as being known. I happen to agree, but the thing is that it's very difficult to be known without being good. Because the truth is that people that aren't good at things, they don't stick with it, because the truth is that, I'm going to brag a little bit. Here's the thing, guys. I get customers that say, "I've waited years to get your piece." Like, do you know how fucking good that feels? Like, you want to get up the next day and come to work after reading something like that. It's really easy. I get people that come into my shop and they're just blown away by what we've put together here in St. Louis. They love the colored furniture. They love seeing all the vintage pieces that I have upstairs. They like seeing all the guys working, the painting. It just blows them away. And I'm here to tell you, it's very easy to go to work when people admire what it is that you do, right? So just being known isn't necessarily enough, but it really helps. I'm not going to lie. But to get known, you got to be good. And you got to have purpose. You got to feel like what you do means something. You got to have, you just got to have it. And it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of reps, but people will help you to get known by admiring your work, telling their friends tell their friends, their friends tell their family. And before you know it, you've got a collection of of clients that, 100 deep, so being known, yes, is very important, and that's a fantastic comment. I really like that you said that. I happen to agree with you 100%. But you really got to like what you do. And I'm here to tell you guys, as someone that's done this for 25 years, I have never in my 25 years woken up and thought, you know what, I want to go do something else. I'm one of those weirdos. It's never happening. My mother, well, and my wife too, they can't understand how somebody could just want to do the same thing forever. And that's how it's always been for me. And I think that's why I've become such a good and well-known furniture maker, is because I've just done it for so damn long. Whether it's making custom furniture for people, I was making furniture for private jets, right? I done Michael Jordan's plane, I've done the Denver Broncos plane, I've done Taylor Swift's plane, I've done Rush Limbaugh's plane back when he was alive, I've done Tom Cruise's plane. I've just done so many things over the years because, again, people tell you, they give you admiration, they give you positive feedback, and if it's the opposite, where every time you do something, someone's like, "Oh, that's a piece of shit. What the fuck is that? Like, ugh, no one's gonna buy that." That stuff can build up to it, and then you won't be as into doing it, right? You'll quit, because, like, what's the point? No one even likes what you're doing, except you, So it can become it can be very difficult. So anyway, let's dig into our notes here, and we'll go over this kind of some of the stats around furniture, what's going on right now, and this artisan economy that's kind of building right now. Like you guys know, college is out, trade schools are in, right? Working on it. Everyone's got a hard on for trades right now, and it really pisses me off, the hypocrisy that we have in our society today. And everyone talks about how great the trades are. If you turn back the clock 10 years, all these people were calling us all fucking losers for working with our hands, right? This idea, oh, you got to take a shower when you come home. Oh, you're all dusty. These people are the worst. And they're all over, all your Fox News, CNN, all of them. They're all whores. Every single one of them, So that's my little rant on that one. Fuck those people. So, let's go. Yes, I have a mouth on me. That's one of the great things about these live streams. I don't mind. People don't seem to mind that I have a mouth. I haven't had too many people whine about it. So, okay. First note, the artisan economy is coming, and it will make you rich as fuck. Okay, I honestly believe that. In my 25 years of doing this, I've always made good money. I've always owned my own homes. I've always bought BMWs and Audis and Volkswagens, and I've never owned a Mercedes. I've had Lotuses. I've been able to buy all kinds of stuff as a regular old furniture maker. When I started my business, I've had years where I've had so much money I could buy anything I want. I could fly private jets. I could buy big mansions on the hill, which I fortunately still have. And I've also had years where I've had to mortgage my home. I've had years where I just sell my sports cars, my supercars, all the fun stuff that I really like. I've had to sell it all, right? And honestly, today I'm in rebuilding mode because COVID destroyed my business in many ways. And I've talked about that in the past. You guys are welcome to ask about that at any point in time. But furniture is extremely lucrative, but you have got to be good at it. With this artisan economy coming, it could be that you're in plumbing, right? Or maybe you're making timber furniture, right? Where they spin the legs, they make the timber furniture and stuff like that. It could be that. It could be whatever you want. It could be art. People are going to want handmade art, right? They're going to want handmade furniture. They're going to want handmade cabinets because the wealthy people don't buy the stuff that you and I buy. Like they're not going to Home Depot to pick out cabinets, right? They're not going to go to, Ashley Furniture to go pick up furniture. They have custom things made for their homes. And more people are getting rich. So more and more people are going to need really nice stuff. And I hear a lot of people say that consumerism is slightly dying. And I'm here to tell you guys that as someone that pretty much exclusively deals with rich people, consumerism isn't going anywhere, guys. I'm here to tell you that a lot of people just say that kind of stuff because it kind of makes them feel good. It gives a community of people that can all feel good together about not having what it is that they want in life. And I'm here to tell you, start making something. Get good at something so that you can become a part of this thing that I think is going to happen. And I don't know. What the hell do I know? I don't know anything. But I do know what my sales are. I know what kind of things my customers are asking for. I know how this year has went. I know how the last 10 years have went. And this is the most exciting year I've ever had. I'm really excited. I'll tell you guys some of the projects I'm working on, some of the things that I have in the pipeline, some of the just the cool stuff I got going on. So, okay, more people coming in the stream. Who's this? We got Paul in here. Paul, good to see you. Let's see. Why do I have that crown? I don't know what that means, but okay. Anyway, Okay, so as AI digitization increase, people will desire more personalized and handmade goods. Okay, a lot of the stuff I got off Grok. I did a search. I did a couple searches about the artisan economy, and it was basically I did a search as to are people going to buy more handmade goods, right? And I also did a search about the divide between the haves and the have-nots, right? The rich and the poor, and basically it's just accelerating like a mofo, guys. Like there's going to be so many rich people, you know, and there's of course going to be lots of poor people. I get it, but a lot of people, a lot of potential customers to buy your furniture. Okay. All right. So next thing I wrote down is custom furniture is growing faster than mass-produced furniture. Okay, this blew my mind, right? There are more people spending money on custom-made furniture than there are spending money on mass-produced furniture. And honestly, it didn't make any sense to me because there's so much mass-manufactured shit out there. You know, like IKEA stuff and furniture's made over in Vietnam and Thailand and places like that, China. And it just didn't make sense to me. And then I kind of dug into the numbers. And here's why, guys. This will blow your mind. So a mass-produced piece of furniture has a ceiling. It can only sell for so much money. A custom-made piece of furniture has no ceiling, right? It can sell for an infinite amount of money, right? Like I just told you guys, the last table I sold was 15 feet long, $45,000. How many generic tables do you have to sell for that one custom table? Like I'm working on a table right now, $100,000, guys. Like this is the kind of money that is out there right now that people are spending on their homes is wild. Okay, how many generic tables can be sold when you're working on a $100,000 table, right? It's the amount of pieces that wealthy people are buying that are custom, that are extremely expensive, is outpacing the crazy amount of mass manufactured furniture that can be built, you know, on CNCs, you know, sanders, you know, mechanized, everything. Right? It's outpacing all of it. That tells you that more rich people are spending more money on more custom-made stuff. You know, so it's happening, and it's going to continue to happen for quite a while until there's some kind of wild downturn in the economy. This is going to continue to happen. This is why I keep telling you guys there are more customers now than ever, especially if you are in the very high-end side of the furniture game. And like who said it before? Who's this KR33 Gola said, you know, it's better to be known. If you're known, you're gonna have access to all those customers. You're gonna get more of those requests for quotes, right? You're gonna get more of that traction coming into your store, and the more potential to make all that money, right? Take on those sales. So a lot of people with money, guys. Okay, so the other things I wrote down. Let's see. Here's some of the stats, and these stats are wild about customers. So hang on here. I gotta read this here. Okay. Projected customer furniture market. Okay, will grow from $39.5 billion this year to $98.27 billion in 2033. Okay, so what is that? 8 years. So in 8 years, the custom furniture market is going to grow 12% a year. Okay, that's a big number. That's a huge number. Okay, and I know that because some of the other numbers I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, 12% a year is wild. Okay, it's especially in the custom furniture space, it's exceptional growth, and it's because more people have more money to spend on more furniture, right? Which means you can charge more. The cooler your designs are, the more capabilities you have, the more people want to see, want to tell their friends, hey, I got a resplendent crow piece of furniture. The more people want to do that, the more you can charge, right? So when I sell, where do I want to go with this? Business is about margin, okay? The more customers you have, the more excited they are about your pieces, the more you can charge for those pieces, okay? So when I sell a piece of vintage furniture, right? So say I get a vintage dresser, right? I pay $200 for that piece of furniture. I turn around, we fix a couple things on it, we sand it, we prime it, we paint it, we ship it, right? Say we ship it to Florida, okay? The most I can really sell that piece of furniture for is approximately, that $3,000 range. It might go $2,500, it might go $3,500, something like that. It's kind of in that range, right? So at the end of the day, by the time I factor in, labor, rent, materials, all these kind of things, insurance, marketing, blah, 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 my margin really is only like maybe 10 to 20%, somewhere there. It's not great, you know. And if anything goes wrong, I don't make shit, right? When I make furniture, like what I call my production-based furniture, this is furniture that I make bread and butter furniture, right? I make 50 of these pieces a year. I make 30 of these pieces a year, whatever. I make 20 of these pieces a year. This is my bread and butter stuff. That furniture has anywhere from 30 to 50% margin, right? There's so much more money to be made when you make a piece of regular furniture. Now, when you do custom furniture, you know, sky's the limit. You're talking 100% margin, right? You're gonna make double what you would make on just a regular production piece of furniture, right? So the money gets really good. So more people coming into the industry, or excuse me, more customers coming into the market wanting more furniture creates more demand, allows you to charge more money, right? And like I said, if you're well known, you're a resplendent crow, you're going to benefit from that, you know. So I tell you, get in now because the market is moving. It's only moving higher, okay? Next comment here. See, the workers of the world must unite. Yeah, I've heard that kind of stuff, you know. And to people that say that kind of stuff, like my fear in a statement like that is mediocrity. Like, I don't like mediocrity. You're only as strong as your weakest link. And when you say something like the workers of the world unite, that means we're all basically hamstrung by the shittiest employees. And it's sometimes you can take a shitty employee and you can make them better. But in my years of experience, it's very difficult. There's just too many people today that don't really want to work that hard. And the people that do want to work really hard suffer. And I would rather have the people that don't want to work very hard eat shit, and the people that are really good that want to do really well take the spoils, right? Because they're going to be able to take that stuff and they're going to be able to teach other people and inspire other people. The person that's mediocre, that doesn't really want to work that hard, they're never going to inspire anybody. They're not gonna they're not gonna do what we do as Americans, right? This is America. We celebrate success. We celebrate the best of the best. I mean, whenever you see greatness, everybody recognizes it. It doesn't matter if, like, you see a great soccer player, you don't have to ever kick a fucking soccer ball in your life, but you recognize greatness, right? You see a guy, whatever, you know, making a piece of art. You know, you don't have to have ever picked up a paintbrush to know, like, that's fucking amazing. You know, everybody recognizes greatness. That's one of the great things about America is the best of the best come here for the most part. You know, so yeah, workers of the world unite. I don't know if I quite subscribe to that, but people need opportunity. That's one thing I would agree with. And anytime we can help people grow their skills and get good at things and make a better paycheck and make things better for their friends and family, it's always a good thing. So, okay, other things about the furniture industry. So I told you guys about the projected custom furniture market, right? We're looking at growing 12% a year. Basically, the industry is almost going to triple in 8 years, right? Triple. No industry triples in 8 years. You know, you'll get an industry that'll double every now and again. You get an industry that move 50%. You know, you might get tech. Tech might move 100% in a year, but you're not going to get these industries that are going to, I mean, that's really impressive. It's really impressive, guys. I hope you guys understand that. Okay, bespoke furniture, right? This is what I do, right? This is the high end, right? The best of the best, right? And I don't make the best furniture per se, but I have the best high gloss lacquered product, right? We're the best, we're the most well known. We've been around longer than most people. We have a great name, so we can charge accordingly, right? Which is great. We're in that realm, okay? So that market right now is doing $35.4 billion as of 2025, okay? It's projected to jump up to $58.24 billion by 2031. Okay, so that's 6.3% per year. So the highest of the high end is moving at 6% a year, which is fantastic. Like, gee, I'll take that. You're not gonna hear complaints from me. The overall custom furniture market is moving at 12% per year. So it's just absolutely wild, guys. It's one of the best industries to be in my opinion, for the average person. You know, you don't have to have a STEM degree. You don't have to hang out with a bunch of computer geeks and learn to code and all these kind of things. You have to do any of that. This is furniture making, guys. This is making kitchen cabinets, bathroom vanities, you know, dressers, nightstands, console tables, you know, round tables, whatever. It's not rocket science, you know. So anybody can do this stuff, but you're going to have to get dirty, right? You're going to have to, you know, play around with power tools, and you're going to have to be around noisy environments and breathe a little dust and smell funny, you know, smells and stuff like that. It's not for everyone, but it's gonna be super lucrative. It's gonna be a really, really good industry to be in, and man, I'm super excited. So, okay, so we talked about the bespoke side. So here's another thing. 71% of customers want tailored furniture, right? Who wouldn't, right? You can buy an off the shelf or off the rack piece of furniture, right? That is standard dimensions that every swinging dick with a credit card can buy and have in their home. Like an IKEA credenza, right? I mean, how many people have the same credenza under their television? Like a lot of people do. A lot of people would like to have a credenza that is the exact size they want, is the exact material that they want, is the exact color that they want, has doors where they want doors, drawers where they want drawers, is the right height, all these kind of things. So a lot of customers, a lot of potential customers, if you're one of these people that can provide that service, you're going to win. You're going to win in this economy that's coming down the pipeline, okay? E-commerce is going to dominate the furniture industry, right? This is why I'm always telling you guys again, get a website. I don't care if you don't even have a product. Get a good name, right? A name that preferably doesn't have your name in it, and get your website going, right? Put your product there. Show what you can do. Have a click and buy kind of situation where people can see what you're selling and buy right there. Offer different kinds of things. Offer furniture, offer drawings, offer parts, offer consulting, offer hardware. There's all kinds of things that you can offer that aren't specifically just furniture. That you can take advantage of this crazy artisan economy that's coming down the pipeline. But people want to use the internet. People say the internet is leading to brain rot and it's fucking up the kids and all that kind of stuff. And I agree with a lot of that. But at the end of the day, it's much easier for people to find your business if you have a website, and if you're a well-known website, right? And that's why I was telling you guys, I do all these YouTube videos, these YouTube streams. I put a lot of stuff on Instagram and Facebook because when people search for lacquered furniture, we're the first ones to show up because we put so much content out there and we pay for a lot of advertising, so we get a lot of eyeballs, which is good. But putting that content out there really helps you to get recognized without having to pay all that money in advertising, okay? So other things, sustainability. This is one of the things they said. I don't agree with this at all, but 60% of customers prioritize sustainability. I've been doing this for 25 years. I can count on one hand how many people have ever asked me if my paint is eco-friendly or what my materials were made of. Do I use recycled materials? Nobody gives a fuck about sustainability. Sustainability is one of these things that people put, they put in their literature, they put in their magazines, they put in their brochures because it appeases the masses, it looks good, it's easy, it's just low-hanging fruit, and honestly, no one gives a fuck. It's not one of those things that people care about. Never had a customers don't care where their products come from. They just want to know what they are and are they amazing, are they beautiful, are you going to deliver a great product, is it shiny, is the quality high, is it exclusive? Nobody cares about, did the wood you got come from, reclaimed wood chips from, eco-friendly housing. Like nobody cares. No one's ever asked me, oh God, can you please not use lacquer and use water-based paint, right? Because water-based paint has no panache, right? Nobody is gonna pay a ton of money for your water-based paint furniture because anybody can spray water-based paint. Lacquer has cachet, right? It has gravitas. It has, what are all these frickin' words? It's been around forever. It's synonymous with quality. It's synonymous with luxury, and that's what people pay for. Like I hate to tell you guys this, but people that tell you that they want chalk paint and water-based paint, those people are selling credenzas and stuff for $1,000. We sell them for a minimum of $3,000 and as much as $12,000. Because it's lacquer. Lacquer's very difficult to spray. So sustainability is it's kind of like climate change. Like there's some of it, most of it's bullshit though. I just don't think people are into that stuff. At least I haven't with my customers. So other things are down. Platforms like Etsy and Instagram are going to drive sales and growth. This kind of blew me away. I started it. I shouldn't say I started this. My wife started this business on Etsy, and Etsy fucked us too many times, and so we started our own website. It was the best thing we ever did. Best thing we ever did was get off Etsy, but with that being said, Etsy spends a small fortune on advertising. A lot of people go to Etsy to buy all kinds of things that are handmade, and Etsy screwed themselves like big time, especially during COVID, It used to be Etsy had to be handmade. And then Etsy started kind of stretching what handmade meant, and they really tarnished their brand because suddenly it went from being handmade in America to being handmade in China. It's like a fucking pair of Nike tennis shoes are technically handmade if you really want to break it down. Handmade in a sweatshop in the Philippines, more than likely. But Etsy, I think, is coming around. I think they're going to change their business practices and get back to more of actually being handmade by a real person that isn't a slave, right? Or that isn't in some foreign country, because that's not what Etsy started out as. Once private equity got into Etsy, it got destroyed. Just like everything private equity touches. And I could talk about that for forever. Private equity has destroyed the American dream, right? Private equity has destroyed home ownership in America. It has destroyed small business in America. It has basically, it has monopolized finance. It has monopolized this idea that everyone is just going to gamble online and you're just going to trade stocks. Private equity is the bane of existence right now. If there's one thing I could do right now, we need to abolish private equity. But I don't want to go on a tangent on that one. But anyway, so the point is that Etsy spends a fortune on advertising and marketing. So a lot of, if people are searching for your wear, the thing that you make, and you're on Etsy, odds are it will show up. They really are good at getting that top search when you're doing a search at Google, okay? The other thing is Instagram. Instagram is an interesting situation because we drive a lot of sales for our business off of Instagram, but it's changed a lot, right? So when we were first on Instagram, the most important thing was the picture, right? You have a really nice photo, backlit really well, lots of color, maybe an interesting, surround, and people liked those photos, and it really drew a lot of traction to your page, and it was good. But then the algorithm changed quite a bit, and suddenly went to video. Now everything's video. Video is the most important thing on Instagram. Pictures are good, they can be good, but for the most part, it's a lot of video, So if you're gonna sell a good and you want to use Instagram to help market that good in this artisan economy, you're gonna have to learn to shoot video. You're gonna have to learn, a shitty lighting situation to a really good lighting situation. You have to learn about, editing images for, the best possible return on the people looking at that video, right? You want engagement with that video. You want clicks with that video. And it's just changed a lot. So what we do now, as opposed to, so it used to be you could just, people they would just put a photo of their thing that they were selling. I'll go to this thing I built, and people would like it, and you get some comments on it like that. That was good for a little while, but again, as this video thing came through, the photos became less and less important, and it was much more difficult to get traction to your business using Instagram. So what we've noticed and what we've done is we went from posting about our products, whether it's pictures or video. Now what we do is we post about our home. So during COVID, we bought a badass home. It wasn't one of these hyperinflated homes. It was a beautiful home, out away from the city, overlooking the Mississippi River, the bluffs of Illinois. It's gorgeous. And what we do now is we just redo all of our rooms using our furniture. And we've got 100 times the traffic, like maybe 1,000 times the traffic. People are super interested and they're super invested in us redoing these rooms. Putting in wallpapers, putting in, motorized Roman shades and curtains and art and furniture and, painting and all these kind of things. They're super invested in this stuff, and it's really grown the traffic that we have on Instagram. And it's really grown the number of people visiting the Resplendent Crow website. And it's led to a really important improvement in revenue this year. So it's changed our business model a little bit. And this is one of the ways that you guys are gonna have to use Instagram to grow your business in this new artisan economy. People aren't necessarily wanting to see what you build, right? They're wanting to see what you build in a place where they can relate, right? Like a home, a living room, a kitchen, a bathroom, all these kind of things. That's what people want to see now. It's not just your product in a picture. It's, things have changed. So Instagram, Etsy, these are going to be places that people are going to go. YouTube, what we're doing right here, like this doesn't drive sales for my business, but it does help with the algorithm, and it also helps to just kind of get engagement, trying to develop different revenue streams, YouTube being one of them, is really important with a business. A business really needs to have 6 or 7 different streams of revenue to remain profitable in the long term. Because the truth is that any one of your revenue streams can ebb and flow, right? It can go down and it can go up. And if you only have one revenue stream and revenue goes down for a week, you can weather that. It goes down for a month, you could probably weather that. It goes down for 3 months, you're fucking out of business. So it's really important you have multiple revenue streams to help, stem those tides. Right? It's just super important. Okay. All right. Next notes. I think I've got one more page, guys, and I'm done. Man, I need coffee. I like to go to Quick Trip to get coffee, but I'm getting frustrated. I may stop going there because they don't leave the half and half out anymore, right? So I drink coffee late in the day, and it's nothing but all the bullshit left, like the hazelnut creamer and they had like some pumpkin creamer. There's no just fucking half and half. Like, leave some goddamn half and half. Like, how hard is it to leave half and half out there? The thing that most people put in their coffee, they don't leave it out there, which is just super irritating. I know, first world problems, right? Okay, next. So what are the challenges, right? So the artisan economy is coming, in my opinion. I'm banking on it. What are some of the headwinds, right? So it can't all be, peaches and cream. There's got to be something that's going to be kind of shitty coming up with this artisan economy, right? So the things that were kind of noted when I was doing my searches is that what they noted was that inflation is a humongous problem, and it's going to be one of the things that's going to make it very difficult for people to buy wares, right? To buy goods, if things are super expensive, if people aren't making as much money, blah, 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 blah. Interest rates were another thing that was really noted. There's super high interest rates. Like, people aren't going to buy your stuff, especially if it's really expensive and they finance it, But here's what I'll tell you. None of my customers finance anything. All my customers either pay with cash, which we still get cash payments for things, check, right? Check is not as common. We do get some checks, but pretty much everyone pays with credit cards. It's a credit card business, and we actually had our very first Affirm customer who never had an Affirm purchase before. I've been doing this. We've had our website up for, I want to say, 5 or 6 years at this point. Never had an Affirm customer. First sale. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't know that our customers would ever do anything like that, but maybe that means that people are reaching up to buy our stuff as opposed to just buying that cheap shit that everyone else tends to buy from like IKEA or Walmart. Which I don't know. I have to report back on that one. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. But rich people don't care about interest rates. Rich people don't care about inflation. They've got plenty of money. All their money's tied up in things like assets and dividend accruing stocks and things like that. They're not worried about that kind of stuff. So you always have a customer, even when times suck. Wealthy people are buying, right? And in fact, when times suck, wealthy people are buying even more, right? Because they got lots of cash. They tend to buy when prices are down, which is when times suck. So if you're selling a really high-end product, you're fairly well known, you're good at what you do, you're always going to have business, right? And I learned this in private jets, right? So I spent 15 of my 25 years working on private aircraft, right? For companies like Cessna, Bombardier, Gulfstream, did a lot of Boeing business jets, right? 737s, that are private. Did a lot of those. Did some 777s. Did 787s. Did some 747s for like the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia. I'm Sultan of Brunei. Like, I've done so many freaking planes. It's not even funny. But these people in that industry, when the economy would go to shit, the jet industry would get busier, right? Because the people that were having their jets worked on, they would refurbish the jets they had. Instead of buying new ones, they would refurbish them, which was great for my business because we were always in the refurbishment game. And they'd bring their jet in, we'd pull all the cabinets out, we'd take all the veneers off, put new veneers on, add new features to the cabinets, stick them all back in the plane, and they'd go off. And then when times got better, they'd take that plane, they'd trade it in, and then they'd buy a brand new, whatever, Gulfstream 650, and there you go, making money again, and it's just how this stuff works. Furniture, high-end furniture, is the same. It's the exact same cycle. So it's a good thing. Our customers, if times are bad, they'll buy vintage furniture, right? And then when times get a little better, they'll sell that vintage furniture and they'll buy new furniture. Like, so it's a good business to be in if you understand kind of how wealthy people buy and how their purchasing cycles work. So other headwinds that I saw were high costs, right? And this is something that's really been a problem for my business. Like if there's one thing that I've really struggled with as a business owner, it's finding good help. There are no good employees left in America. Like I pretty much given up on anybody that is 35 and over. I really would like to get back to hiring the youth, the people coming out of high school, people in high school. Those people I like to hire. I think that most people are just, I don't know if it's just that they're nihilistic and they're just pissed off the world, but they don't want to learn. They don't know what they don't know, and they're just, like I said, it's very difficult, So skilled labor is getting very expensive, right? So I'm hoping that as everyone is suddenly into trade jobs, right? Like trade jobs are the new cool thing. Maybe we'll get some more furniture makers, some more cabinet makers, people that want to work with their hands, people that aren't afraid to take instruction, that don't mind the smell of paint, the smell of mahogany, these kind of things. Don't mind getting dusty and dirty, hearing profanity and non-PC culture. If we can get back to that, I think we'll be able to get some more people that want to learn these kind of things and get the labor prices down, because man, it's you just can't pay people $30-$40 an hour all the time. Like you got to have people that start off lower and kind of work up. No business can survive if the starting wage for anyone that makes cabinets or furniture is $35 an hour. Like it's unsustainable is what it ends up boiling down to. So I'm hoping that we'll get some younger people in here that can work for less money, and they can learn the trade, come up in the business, work with our company or any company, endear themselves to the owners of the company. The employee then becomes really valuable to the company, and we end up in a situation where we're back to employees working for businesses for decades, instead of what we have now, where companies don't give a fuck about the employees don't give a fuck about the companies, and you have a bunch of pissed off people that don't want to be around each other, that might work for 3 years, and then they move on to the next business, right? And they move on to the next employee. That's unsustainable, and that creates a situation where, again, it's super nihilistic. Nobody trusts anybody, and everyone is out for themselves, and I hope we can change that, because it really needs to happen. My employees, I've got about 10 employees at this point. Most of my employees have been with me 5 years or longer, and again, my business, I think I've been in business for 9 years at this point, so most of my employees have been with me for a long time. I've got one employee that has been with me since I started, and of course there's my wife and myself. I've got other employees that have been with me for 5+ years, 6 years. And so that's what I want. I want my employees to stay with me forever. I don't want my employees to go anywhere else. We pay our employees as well as we can, and they generally are pretty happy. But we got to get back to people starting for a company really young and showing that they like the work, they like the company, they like the product, they believe in the company, and that the employers believe in the employees, and they want to teach the employees, and they want to pay the employees. They want to see the employees buy new cars, buy new houses, start families. Like that used to be a good thing, and I think we've gotten away from that. So I'm hoping we can work on that, and that'll drive some of the labor costs down just a little bit. That would be super. The other thing I wrote down that the post said was that long lead times are a hindrance, and I've never found that to be the case. Wealthy people understand that it takes time to make things, and they don't mind waiting. They do want to know what is going on, though. Like if you're not going to be able to deliver in whatever 8 to 10 weeks, they want to know, a week 4 that it's probably going to take a little bit longer. As long as you keep them in the loop, lead times aren't a problem. So when I saw that, I was just like, whatever. I don't know if that's really a problem. And then they said pricing out budget shoppers, and I've said that from the very beginning. Budget customers are not your customers, right? You don't want to be dealing with people that are reaching to buy your product. You want to be dealing with people that don't have any money, like or buying your stuff on credit. It just isn't good. They have a million questions. They're never happy. You can't make these people happy because they bought something that they should have never bought. There's a lot of resentment that builds. Regret, is a thing. So you gotta stay away from those kind of people. And it pains me to say it because I'm one of those people, but I know my customer. And you only want to sell to qualified people. It's just you gotta know who a qualified customer is versus a non-qualified customer. So there was that. And yeah, so that's some of the things that were in that post, and I thought some of it made sense, some of it didn't make sense. But again, as someone that actually makes furniture, that actually has a business, that did it with no high school education, just busted his ass, I think anyone here can do it. Anyone that's in this feed that sees these posts, that sees these videos, can do this stuff. And from what I see, there's only more rich people, and they're only going to spend more money, and they're only going to want more shit, and we have to cater them. That's how it works. But some people don't like that idea of cater to rich people, but it's all I've ever done. Rich people buy private jets, which paid me 80 grand a year for, 15 years. I was able to buy houses and cars and go on vacations and have kids and all that shit, because of rich people, right? And now I sell furniture to rich people. It pays me, my base salary is 50 grand a year. If I do a good job, maybe I can make 250 grand a year, at the end of the day. But it's a crapshoot. You never know. I got years where I've lost 100 grand, and you're mortgaging your home and you're taking out crack loans, and it's very difficult, but it's awesome. It's freaking awesome. Like there's no other thing that I would want to do. I would rather stress out about money every day of my life than go back to work for somebody else. Like there's nothing better than coming to your own business, thing that you made, seeing your employees, seeing them, grow their skills, grow their families, grow their lives, and it's freaking awesome, So that's what I wrote down. So I got some more things about starting a business, which I can go through real quick. I have one more sip of coffee. Let's see, we got a couple of comments here. Go through our comments here. Okay, who do we got in here now? This is David, is this Lepe, 3325? We used to go to the Amish country. They have some beautiful, solid furniture, delicious home-cooked meals, pies. Oh, man, you ain't even kidding. I spent a lot of time out in Wichita, Kansas, and we had this Amish community heading out towards Hutchinson, Kansas, and it's escaping me. I can't believe I can't remember the name of the city, but they had this restaurant there called Carriage Crossing, and oh my God, they had the best food. You could buy these cinnamon rolls, like 6-packs, and God, every time we'd go through there, we would always pick up frickin' cinnamon rolls. They were just amazing. But yeah, the Amish communities, man, they make great furniture. Not the nicest stuff in the world from an aesthetic standpoint. They can't design to save their lives, but you give them a drawing, you give them something to build, and it's as good as anything out there. They're really dedicated to their craft, and that's one of the things that I talk about in these streams that, I don't know if people can resonate with this, but the Amish community, this is that generational thing that I'm always talking about. It's like dad teaches the son then has kids, the son teaches kids, and these skills are passed down from generation to generation to generation. And I think we need more of that in America. I think we've got too many people, that were trying to go to college. You're going to work for some soulless, lifeless corporation. And I work for plenty of them, so I'm not saying I've never worked for them, because I have, and they have a place. Don't get me wrong, but we need more businesses where there's family involved, and again, generations of kids. Maybe you got cousins working for you, but definitely you got kids. You got your sons, daughters, things like that. I think this is very important. That's how we, as a country, we get our skill set back. We heard old Trump the other day saying that we got to bring in H-1B visas because we don't know how to make microchips. And I'm thinking, motherfucker, who developed the motherfucking microchip? It was Intel. It was a guy, his name was literally Fagin, right? And he developed the goddamn microchip. You tell me we can't make that shit here? I grew up in Oregon. Where the fuck do you think Intel is, right? You want to tell me we can't make chips? Like, no. Our corporations gave all that technology to the third world so that they could make more money here back at home for their shareholders, and that's bullshit. We need generations of people teaching younger generations how to do things. And every time we send a kid to college, we are making it more difficult to do that. Because the people that go to college, they're not learning from their parent. They're not learning from their grandfather. They're not learning from their uncle. They're not learning from anybody that knows anything about them. All they are is a paycheck. So they're getting the bare minimum of knowledge that they can possibly get to go on to some corporation, and the corporation will tell them what to do. It's something that just really has bothered me for, decades at this point. It's a real problem, and You know, when people say that we can't do things here, it's not because we don't know how to do it. It's because we sent all that work to other countries. You know, and they talk about, we're going to bring people in here to do this work. Like, bullshit. America can do anything. We've done everything. America is the place where people go to do shit, right? Nobody goes to India, to start the next great thing. It doesn't exist. Nobody goes to China to start the next great thing. People go to China because they got a great idea here in America, but they can't fucking afford any employees because the only people they can hire are people that they don't know. If you got your family involved, well, you can sure do a lot more. You don't have to pay top frickin' dollar, because, they got, mortgages and kids and homes and other kinds of bullshit. Family tends to work things out between each other. And I just think we need more of it, guys. Like, and I say this as someone who can't get his kids to come work for him, right? Like, we've got 3 kids between the 2 of us. I mean, people that watch these streams know this kind of stuff. My kids want nothing to do with my business. Nothing. For whatever. I mean, we got the nice house on the hill. We drive the nice cars. We pay for everything. They could give a fuck. Like, I don't get it. The uneducated, like, I'm the only white guy in my business, by the way. I'm the only one. I'm the minority. It's hilarious. They don't care. No interest, and it doesn't matter how much money we make. It doesn't matter how much nice shit we have. It doesn't matter how many vacations we go on. It doesn't matter how many employees we have. None of it. They got no interest, and I can't wrap my head around it. Doesn't make any sense because, like, when I grew up, like, all I wanted to do was my dad did. My dad was a welder, but I didn't spend a lot of time with him. So my stepdad made furniture, right? So I was like, I'll do what my stepdad does. He made furniture. He was pretty good at it. And I learned from him, and I turned that into a successful career making furniture. And I wanted my kids to do the same thing. And unfortunately, they got indoctrinated in the college thing, and now I don't think any of them are going to end up working. I don't know if they're going to, have careers. I have no idea. I don't have a lot of faith, so maybe that'll bring them back here. The last resort will be the resplendent crow. So I don't know, man. It's just, oh, God. Okay, who we got? Oh, we got Sons in here. Hey, Son, man, good to see you, man. Sorry I haven't done the streams in a while. It messes up the algorithm with my woodworking business. And I'll try and do, like, I probably do one of these a week, probably okay. But I'm moving on the hours. I'm up to 2,300 hours. I got 700 left. Guys, I just put out a video on how to make curved doors. Curved doors are kind of intimidating for people as furniture makers, So I did a quick little down and dirty video on how I make those kind of things. So if you're interested in that kind of stuff, I did curved doors for a double vanity that I made. It was pretty nice. It's a cool looking video. I got another video coming out. This is a Dorothy Draper cabinet. I'm doing a video series on it. So that'll probably be out in a couple of weeks. I'm actually going to sand the cabinet. I never sand cabinets, but I'm going to sand this cabinet so I can do the video on it and paint it. So I'll do a full video on how we paint this stuff. So it'll be a good one. I've also got a video series on I'm making a 4-door faux bamboo china cabinet. Be really cool. I think people really like that thing, and that'll be coming out here pretty soon. So, okay, last part of this discussion, and then I'm gonna get here. I'm trying not to be redundant, so I apologize if some of this is a little redundant, but I'm not exactly a professional speaker. So, okay, I wrote down starting a business, and that, again, the whole point of these streams is that anybody can do this. Anybody can start a business. Let's see. Sorry, son. I'm going to go back to what you said real quick. The Amish, they know how to human so well. I think the Amish are great. Like I said before, I've always been a big fan of the Amish. I love the way that their sense of family, the way that the sense of community that these guys have, and their work ethic is insane. They're very good at what they do. And granted, they don't use all the technology we do, but they're very efficient. And you can tell that they, you got dad there, you got the son there, you got grandpa there. It's really cool. I wish I had a little more of that here in America, but whatever, it is what it is. Okay, all right, so starting a business. I wrote down some things. The most important thing about starting a business, at least in my opinion, I'm not a good business owner, right? My wife is a fantastic business owner. She is good at working on the company. I am good at working in the company. But I feel that in order to start a business in the artisan economy, right, where you want to sell something to rich people that is made, right, that is made by hand, which is really important. You have to be good at doing something. And I think we got too many people that think they're good at stuff. They're like, I'm gonna make furniture, and they're out there with their 2x4s, and maybe they got a joiner. They're joining their boards, and they're putting their 2x4 furniture together, and then they come out the next day, they don't know why it's fucking warped. I joined it. They don't understand wood, right? They don't understand why one wood is great, another wood is horrible, right? Where certain woods should be used, other woods shouldn't be used. They haven't spent the time, they haven't made enough mistakes to be good at anything, right? Just being good at something and always moving forward, always doing the right thing is not how you get good at stuff. And I don't hear enough people talk about this. I've said it, for 20 years at this point. Anybody can make furniture. Anybody can weld up a joint, right? Anybody can, get some PVC pipe and do plumbing. Anybody can do it. Not anybody can fix something. And if you want to get really good at something, you got to learn to fix shit, right? So if you're a furniture maker, you got to learn how to fix the fuck-ups of other people. It will make you a better furniture maker or cabinet maker than anybody that makes anything, right? And I've said it so you got to spend the time. You got to learn to fix the things. You got to make the mistakes and learn how to fix the mistakes. And the best thing you can do is put your work out there. Your work needs to stand up to the scrutiny of the internet. And the internet is cruel. The internet will take your Picasso and turn it into a complete hunk of shit, right? You need to be able to put your stuff out there and have people say, man, that is pretty awesome. You have to be undeniable. And the only way to do that, in my estimation, is to fuck up so much, to learn how to fix other people's fuck-ups so many times that it becomes second nature, right? Once you learn to do that, you can build anything. You can fix anything. Someone can give you a picture of something on a napkin and you can just go build it. You can see parts and drawings in your head. You can take a piece of furniture and literally explode it like in the movies and see all the individual components with the dimensions and make that shit, right? Once you can do that, you're ready to have your own business. Unless you are a person that just wants to work on a business, right? Which is very different than working in a business. You have to learn the skills of running a company. And the only way you can learn those skills is by being around other people that know how to run a company. It's very important that you get around people that have made the mistakes on how to keep a company going. Because the difference between making mistakes, making a piece of furniture, and making mistakes running a business is that when you make mistakes running a business, you fucking go out of business, okay? You can always go back and make furniture, right? But when you go out of business, it's not as simple as like, well, I just put my tools away and go home. No, it's you file for bankruptcy, right? Your employees, if you're hiring anybody, vendors, people you bought stuff from, they don't get paid. When you make a mistake making a piece of furniture, you can always go buy more material. You can remove the old leg, put on a new leg. You can throw away the old drawer box, build a new drawer box. There's things you can do. Business is very different. There's a lot more risk involved. There's a lot more on the line when you run a company versus learning how to make something, right? It's very different. So when it comes to running a company, I feel like you have to learn from somebody. You have to get around people who do this kind of work, who are willing to tell you the pitfalls and be honest about the mistakes, and that's what I do on these streams. I tell people all the time, all the fucking crazy things that I've done that were just, they seem great in the moment, and you look back at them and you're like, that was the dumbest thing. Like I could have $30,000 extra had I not done that stupid thing. Like, oh my God, why did I blow $15,000 on that stupid piece of equipment, right? Like, oh my God, my ego was so big. I got a video crew in here and they were gonna video on how great my business is. Like, these things can bankrupt your company, put your people out of work, can screw over your vendors. Starting a business is no joke. And you have to be good at what it is that you do. You can't go into it half-assed. You got to be good at what you do. And I think it's not enough people. A lot of people just say, oh, you just go out and just go do it. And some people can, I get that. You can kind of learn on the job as you go. But when you put your house on the line, when you put your 401ks, credit cards, all these kind of things on the line, if you got a business for yourself, it's just you and your family. But when you have other people involved, it can go bad really quick, So Working in the business, very different than working on the business. I hope that kind of makes sense to people. Let's see here. Yeah, and I wrote down like the skills you got to learn. Like you guys got to learn about tax evasion. Like everyone just calls it tax law, right? I call it tax evasion. You know, like if you pay all your taxes the way you're supposed to pay all your taxes, man, like you're not gonna have any money. You're not gonna make any money, and the government's gonna suck you dry. And if it's not the federal government, it'll be the state. If it's not the state, it's the county. If it's not the county, it's gonna be the city. Everyone's got their hand out, and these motherfuckers get paid without doing anything, right? Like no one ever goes like, oh God, thank God I have government. Thank God I have the city of University City, you know, code enforcement coming in trying to shut me down all the time. Thank God I have OSHA, you know, to make sure that my employees are safe, because I'm such a piece of shit that I should have to pay some fucking entity that you know, I honestly don't care about looking over my employees, right? Like I'm such a piece of shit that I need the EPA to come in because I don't, you know, pay whatever $3,000 a quarter to dispose of my fucking hazardous waste. I need some dipshit in Washington to tell me how to do it. Like I don't fucking need any of these people, you know. So anything you can do to keep from having to have these parasites suck up your money, you know, so some fucking loser, some mediocre person can come tell you how to run your business, you should do, right? And then you have to learn these skills. Tax evasion. You got to learn about, you know, employment law, right? Because, I mean, employees are great, but they're also horrible, right? There's this constant battle between the employer and the employee, and it's as old as time, and it's never going to go away. So the more knowledge you can get about how to hire people correctly, how to fire people correctly, how to interact with people correctly, will save you when you have that one employee who is actually looking to do harm to your company. You know, so you need to learn about that kind of stuff. Yeah, I wrote down labor law. Environmental law, super important, especially as a person that owns a paint company. Environmental law is super important. Like you got to understand how to dispose of waste. You know, what is the proper way to dispose of paint, right? Booth filters, things like this. What's the proper way to, you know, ground things? What is the proper way to run electrical to all of your explosion susceptible equipment, right? You have to learn all this stuff. You gotta learn about the Code of Federal Regulations. You gotta learn about your state codes. You gotta learn about fire hazards. It's just a myriad of stuff you have to learn about. Last couple things I wrote down that are fun stuff. You need to really know how to design something, right? Like you really gotta have an eye for how to make an aesthetically pleasing thing that somebody will want to buy, right? Because unlike government, we have to actually sell a product that people willfully or willingly give you money for, right? We have an exchange going on, right? We don't just suck money from our customers. You know, I got you, bitch. Give me your $3,000 and here's my fucking credenza. It doesn't work like that. You know, they got to come to us and say, hey, I really like your credenza. It's really beautiful. Here's some money, right? And then you deliver the credenza to them. It's a win-win, right? So yeah, you got to learn how to make really beautiful things, or at least things that are what your particular client wants, your demographic of people wants, right? Like I sell furniture to rich white women, you know, 55 and up. Like that's who I'm designing furniture for, right? I'm not designing furniture for 18-year-old boys. Not happening, right? You know, it's just there's no money there. Like I know where my customer is, I know who my customer is, and that's who I design furniture for, right? So that's really important. Last thing is you have to know your industry trends. You have to know, is your market healthy, right? Is your customer healthy? Is the thing that you sell high margin, low margin? Is your business even feasible? You know, is the furniture industry worth having a business in, right? Is it a bad market? Because there are industries that are just super shitty, right? There are cycles in everything. Like one year, you know, certain kinds of furniture are hot, other year they're not hot, right? Some years certain kinds of clothing are hot, other years certain kinds of clothing are not. So you have to kind of understand what is going on in your industry so that you can kind of bob and weave a little bit to capture some of that hotness. It's not that you have to be trendy. I'm not saying you have to be trendy. We definitely don't do that. We want to make timeless pieces of furniture that are of the highest quality, which quality almost never goes out of style, but you do want to chase trends just a tiny bit. But you gotta be kind of careful with that. So anyway, I think that's what I talked for today, guys. I don't know how long I talked it down. What my timer says, 70 minutes. That's pretty good. I appreciate everyone hanging out and listening to me rant about the artisan economy. But I think it's really important, guys. If you're one of these people, I feel really bad for people that went to college, right? I think that we need to help these people. We don't need to give them money. I think that's a worthless cause. We got to give them skills, right? We got to give them purpose. We got to give people the opportunity to be great at something. There's nothing better than when someone says, God damn, that's beautiful. Did you do that? Holy shit. I've waited forever to get one of your pieces of furniture. I'm so glad you're here to help me. Like, nothing feels better than helping somebody else. And we got to give these people purpose, man. And with the artisan economy coming, I'm telling you, there is something about working with your hands. We've told people that we're going to be the knowledge economy, right? Everyone's going to work with their brain. Like, that didn't fucking work, guys. I'm here to tell you, it ain't going to work. And with this AI thing coming in, no bueno, y'all. You know, so get to making something with your hands. Get good at making something. And, you know, it's not saying that you can't, you know, work in the knowledge economy. You can. But like I said earlier in the video, you got to be the best of the best. Not just any swinging dick with a college degree and a little bit of, you know, I like computers is going to get a job. You know, but if you can work with your hands, you don't mind getting dirty. You don't mind, you know, getting up super early to go to work and not, you know, being able to work remote like you fucking losers. You're going to be okay. You know, you're going to do good. The highest wage gains are in the trades right now. Trades people are making, it's funny. I when I left aviation, I think I was making like 75 grand a year. And that was in like, I want to say that was maybe 2018, maybe 2017, 2018, somewhere there. Most of my employees make more than me. And that was, I was considered a master craftsperson. The best of the best. Like, I could make anything. They'd fly me all over the world to go do things. 75 grand a year. I was able to buy homes, cars, all kinds of things. Now, people make that kind of money and they can't afford much. You know, they sure shit can't. I mean, you can barely afford a home. You're not going to buy a new car. That's for goddamn sure. It's just weird. Right? It's weird times, guys. Like, I said, I just feel so bad for people. Get people to work with their hands. Anything you can do. Start a business, right? Get your friends and family employed. Show them how to make some shit. Give them hope. You know, show them that there is a way. Show them that, you know, one of the best things about owning a business is that when the cost of everything goes up, guess what? Your products go up too. You know, so if you are making, you know, making X in 2020 and, you know, inflation kicks in, 2021, your prices are going to up, you're going to make the same thing. Your wage is going to go up with inflation pretty easily because the cost of your goods go up with inflation. So owning the business is really important. But anyway, I just kind of going down my little thought process here. So I hope everyone has a great night, and I hope everyone is getting ready for Thanksgiving. Have a good Thanksgiving. I hope that you got a lot of family coming in. We have a ton of family coming in. I'm going to have an Indian Thanksgiving. My wife is, of course, from India. All her family's coming in. So I'm going to have a whole house full of Indians, and I'm going to be the one white guy. So yet again, everywhere I go, I am the minority. You know, I'm the only white guy at my business. I'm the only white guy in my house. Yeah, interesting times, but wouldn't trade it for anything. Life is good. And again, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. Eat lots of turkey, watch lots of football, and, you know, drink lots of beer. Have a good time. So I'm out of here.